We often forget a simple truth. Belonging takes effort. We forget that sometimes, especially in a culture obsessed with independence, whether in acquaintance or friendship or love or team building or in a community or nation, belonging takes action, presence, patience, acceptance, respect, loyalty, and sacrifice. And our roles through life often change from being the recipient of that love, respect, and action of others to the one who offers it. Most young children don't have to do anything as a baby to receive belonging, but that changes when we get older, and in societies prized for independence and individuality, that becomes, unfortunately, much harder, as many are realizing today. Today, as adults, we face that perhaps more than most previous generations. To get along, we have to play along. What does that mean? It's an ancient truth many of us don't know. Early nomadic humans and in ancient civilizations, people knew what their roles in family, friendships, and community were. If they didn't follow the rules, they paid a price, castigation, or something worse. People knew that to belong, they had to put in some effort. Sometimes that meant going with the flow. Other times, it meant speaking up for ourselves or others. It might have meant going your own way when you disagreed with those one belonged with, but it always came at some price. But time has passed, and the rules of survival have blurred. We no longer live in tribes around a fire, but the emotional needs remain the same. We hurt today when we forget that lesson, and often the price one pays is loneliness, abandonment, or something worse. The rules of belonging haven't changed, but our societies and mindset have. Isolation isn't just a personal failing. It's often the result of systems, schedules, and values that make connection inconvenient. But reclaiming belonging means pushing against that design. The world today, as you know, faces several barriers to belonging. Social media bubbles, disparate news sources, culture wars, lack of time and resources such as places to connect with others, and a lack of knowledge of what it takes to belong. We've forgotten that belonging takes effort. Mantras like, "Look out for number one," or "Find your own way," only tell part of the picture. No one is truly an independent individual, and that myth also has a price. No man is an island, and any individual who thinks it is will find their connection to others as distant as a single man living in the wilderness. That's what wilderness is, the lack of other people. We're in a wilderness today created by society and our own actions and inactions. To find connection and belonging, we have to leave that wilderness and join people that we would like to belong with where they are, not only in location, but in mindset, and we need to cultivate connection and put in effort. It can be hard, but just remember, if it offers any solace, that most people are seeking the same belonging that you are, and if they only put in half the effort that you do, you'll start to see the fruits of your efforts through closeness, companionship, and all the just rewards of belonging. The problem today is that many people and groups or societies have forgotten those fundamental truths, so the effort to make those connections may be more difficult in the past. I know that's not something most of us want to hear, but there it is. And sometimes that effort might be telling someone else what it means and takes for an honest, mutual relationship. My friend, that's what I'm doing today in this video. So, start small. Decide for yourself that stepping off of your mountain or island in the wilderness is right for you, and start making those connections. Follow the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And let me know where your journey leads in the comments. Just be careful of your steps. Think of one relationship where you've withdrawn. What single small step could you take this week to reinvest in it? For me personally, I've sacrificed love and connection many times in my life, both by choice and circumstance. I'm moving to Albania to start a new life and seeking a new world of connection. As a child, my family moved around a lot, so I've had to stay positive and connect over and over again growing up, losing contact with family and friends to devote the time to building new connections. It's taken work and frustration, and as I got older, certain times in my life were more dedicated to those connections than others. And when my mom almost died a few years ago, my connection to my mom meant going to a hospital every day. And while building and strengthening my relationship and duty to her, other relationships died on the vine. That was on me, and I find it hard to reconnect to people that I haven't invested any time or attention with in so long. Part of it is shame. You get to a point where you've burned bridges and have no easy path across the chasms we create. I haven't devoted time to finding love in years, and sometimes I've spent more time and effort focusing on my career than I possibly should have. And then the pandemic hit. After my mom died in 2023, I felt lost. In many ways, I'm starting over, which is one of the reasons I'm leaving. Sometimes it's easier to start fresh, especially in a society and culture that's as fractured as we are here in America today. Many people won't even talk to a member of a different group or political persuasion here anymore, and that's beyond sad. We all get uncomfortable around certain people or situations, but embarrassment and shame aren't the only outcomes. There's shame, yes, but also grace. A bridge may burn, but the human heart is never beyond rebuilding, especially when we meet others in truth, love, and respect. When we value ourselves and others, we open our hearts and minds to a world of new possibilities. I tell you this not to dwell on the past, but to show that even those of us who talk about these truths are still learning how to live them, and as you can see, I'm still taking my own journey. Last night, I went out with some of my closest friends and their family to a tradition we've been doing for years, seeing the holiday lights at the Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Gardens here in Pittsburgh, PA. If you're in the area, I highly recommend it. One of my friends said that I seem happier, but what I didn't want to admit was that I'm putting more effort in than I have for a while. Not only to them, but to strangers, even if that means acknowledgement, a head nod, a smile to someone I see on the street, or taking a phone call, or being flexible and adaptable. Like that old saying goes, sometimes putting a smile on your face makes you happier, but what's often ignored in that saying is that by simple acts of kindness, respect, and compassion, we may put a smile on someone else's face. And when we're seen and acknowledged, loneliness and frustration diminish and allows others to feel happy. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, with kindness, consistency, forgiveness, and effort. Try to do good in all things, great and small. Belonging depends on it. For more information on these topics, I have some videos you may find beneficial. The first is The United States of Loneliness, which discusses what many of us feel right now. Finding belonging and purpose in a fragmented world explains some of the issues we face today. And finally, The Secret to Finding Your Place in the World, which offers steps to belonging. And for a deeper dive as to how this fits into my personal and societal philosophy and a way you can better engage with the world, watch What is the Social Contract of the Commons? These all fit into what I call the Compass of Flourishing, where our channel discusses the various realms of the human condition. Saturdays is for belonging, so check back next week for a deeper dive. We'll start out with ancient wisdom and how our ancestors learned how to belong and what lessons they can teach us today. It's time we have a discussion with our ancestors on what we've forgotten today. This has been Scott Layton, your host, and welcome to the Renaissance Spirit. You belong here. May your efforts at connection bear fruit in joy, and may you be to others what you yourself hope to receive, a source of peace, presence, and renewal. Your own journey and path may be different, but the fundamentals, the truth that belonging takes effort, is still true. I hope that you find the love, connection, and belonging we all deserve. And more than that, I hope that you're willing to put in the effort when you need to. Live the Renaissance spirit. Rebuild the commons. And remember, belonging is the foundation of every flourishing life.